Welcome to Story Jam Theater. I'm your host, Chris Krimitsos. If you're moved and inspired by stories, then you're in the right place. On today's show, we're featuring an epic win and an epic fail. So we're going to let you figure out which one is which. But first up, we have Tanya Lewis, the inventor of the Green Glider.
Hello. I am the inventor of a product called the Green Glider Mop Pad. And Green Glider is a combination of microfiber to clean and chamois to absorb. So we've got microfiber on the bottom and chamois inside to absorb, which I have the patent for. And I guess about a year and a half ago, we were selling on QVC during one of our airings, and there was an older lady, probably near 80 years old, who she somehow got a hold of my email address, probably through looking around online and going to my website, and contacted me through email at first. And she was trying to ask me, find out where she could get the product for the best deal and save on shipping, because she didn't want to pay a lot of shipping charges, and asked me when I was going to have my next special or, sale. And, so I kind of told her, I said, well, your best deal is probably going to be on QVC, because you get, you're going to save about $6. She's like, yeah, but I still have to pay for shipping. And I was like, okay, well, so this went back and forth. She emailed me back and forth a couple of times, and finally I gave her my phone number, and we're talking on the phone. And her name was Suzanne. And Suzanne, she then started to, for some reason, the shipping was such a big deal to her. And I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, why don't I just send you one? And I'll pay for the shipping, and if you like it, then you can get more, because she had told me that she wanted to buy them for all of her older lady friends. And I was like, well, okay. She said, but I want to try it first. And I said, all right. So I sent her one. I said, where do you live? She said, Sarasota. And I realized that she was just, right around the corner from us. So I sent her one, and next thing you know, she mails me a check for 14 more. And, most people buy one or two, maybe three, but 14 Green Glider Mop Pads, and so I sent her all of them. I paid for the shipping, so she wouldn't have to worry about that. And she got her 14 mop pads, and she gave them out to all of her friends, and she was all happy. So during the course of a couple of weeks, she would call me and want to talk and start to tell me about the failing health of her husband. She started to tell me about some of her friends who are, getting up in age and aren't able to clean their floors, and different, issues. And, so I realized that she just wanted somebody to listen. I don't think had a whole lot of, I don't know that she had a lot of people who would sit on the phone and listen to her as she would talk, because her husband was very ill. And so because I did a couple of things for her, I gave her some time, and I stopped what I was doing to talk to her. And, I paid for her shipping, and I gave her a free Green Glider Mop Pad. She was very thankful, and it was, it was one of those things that it made me feel good to do too, but I hadn't really set out to be a good Samaritan. I wasn't, I wasn't on purpose. It was just sort of happened that way. And so then after a while, her son came home. He lived out of state, and he was coming home to visit, and she shows him my Green Glider Mop Pad, and says, she was all excited, showed him, oh, look what I bought, and I just talked, and the lady who's the inventor, we're friends now, she said, and we just, I can call her and we can talk, and, she gave me all these deals, and I gave them to all my friends, and she was just very happy. And so then I get an email from her son, and he says, thank you for being so nice and so kind to my mother. And he says, by the way, would you like to put your product into Walmart? And he apparently, he lives in Bentonville, Arkansas, he was home visiting his mother, saw the product, saw how so happy she was about it, and so now he put me in touch with all of the people that he knows in Bentonville. We presented to the buyer, and we got a purchase order, and we're going in Walmart in February. So the question, everyone keeps asking me, how did you get into Walmart? How did you get into Walmart? No, I didn't win a contest. I didn't, it wasn't like I am, the Green Glider is this big household name. We didn't partner up with Procter & Gamble. None of that. It was all just due to just taking some time out, being nice to someone without expecting anything in return. And it turned out her son was directly connected to the buyer at Walmart. And so that's how we're getting into retail.
Clearly that was an epic win. So next up, this story was shared to me over dinner by a good friend of mine, Niel Guilarte. And after begging him for weeks, we got him to sync up his calendar and share this gem with us. Enjoy.
Always love being introduced as an epic fail. So, thanks a lot. All right, well, who remembers being 24 and screwing up? Raise your hand. Good, I don't feel so bad. My story I still get reminded of my story every time I turn on the radio. When I was 24 years old, I was in Orlando, Florida, and I had just started what I thought was the coolest internet show ever. It was called Inside Outside. So being brand new, we were content hungry, right? So any parade, any event, bat mitzvah, it didn't matter. We were recording it with a host and with a smile. So Saturday morning rolls around. It was like 7 in the morning because my alarm went off like it should have done on Monday, but it did it on Saturday. And I hear Doc and Johnny on the radio, if you remember Orlando, Doc and Johnny on the radio back then, and he was saying, hey, come to Walmart today. Today at Walmart, they're gonna have this group, they're gonna perform, get there early, there's gonna be a lot of people. And I thought, I'm already up, let me grab my camera, but I had no host, I had no one that wanted to go with me because no one cared about a group at Walmart. So I decided to go handheld, right? I figured I'm gonna be there all by myself. I have no one to interview this group, and I have nobody to help me get the content, so I'll just go handheld. I get there, I get to the front of the stage, and there's a whole of 20 people there. So I'm looking around, I'm like, this should be easy. And then it got fuller and fuller, and it was all girls. Saw one, that could have been an opportunity moment, but it wasn't. So anyway, out comes the group, right? And they start singing the song that's on the radio, and everybody's going crazy, and I'm getting bumped from every angle. And I'm in the front row just trying to get a cool angle of this group that's supposed to be really popular. Now, mind you, this was their first performance in America ever at Walmart. So I was thinking, how good could this possibly be? Well, anyway, I turn around, hundreds of screaming girls, which is always a great problem to have. And finally, I realized they're about to finish, right? So I should get kind of backstage where when they come off, I can maybe get a quick blurb from one of them, or, hey, you're watching Inside Outside. So I go around the side, and there's this very bigger than me, security guard guy. And I kind of sneak by him, and I stand on this little riser, and I can see the group, and they're just finishing their last number. They're just about to come off the stage, and I'm dying because one of them's really cute. I know the girls are going crazy, so I got to get him on my show, right? And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there rolling, and once you put your eye to the lens, there's no more peripheral vision. And I'm sitting there zooming in on the cute guy, no pun intended. And all of a sudden, I see a big hand just kind of go whack. And I fell off the riser, and he kind of busted my camera. And then the group passed right over me, literally just kind of walked right by me, and I missed my big moment. Well, needless to say, I was kind of pissed, So I complained to the guy, I want to talk to their manager, someone better pay for this problem that I have. So the guy takes my card and then basically promises me a bunch of stuff, and nothing gets resolved. I missed my moment. It was a crappy day. So then I'm going to leave, and the group's manager approaches me and says, let me have your business card. Because this group, they're going to be huge. Who hasn't heard that before, right? They're going to be huge. You do not want to miss this opportunity. They're looking for someone to videotape them on a tour bus for a whole year. So if you're interested, I'll call you. We feel horrible. It'd be great. Just show us something you've done. So I give him the card, and I blew him off. I said, who's going to ever believe in this group? This group sucks. On top of that, you guys busted my camera. You're at Walmart. What kind of promise plan is this, right? And needless to say, I forgot about them, and I'm sure they forgot about me. That's what I thought. A year later, a little over a year later, I get a package in the mail, and inside the package is a VHS. Who knows what that is? Yeah, whatever. I open up the VHS, and here's the epic fail. I open up the VHS, and there's a sticky note on the front that says, "This VHS tape sold over 1 million copies. It should have been your 1 million copies." And I flipped over and it says, "In sync, in the mix." So, I immediately kicked myself. I was like, that's the cute blonde kid? Right? Justin Timberlake? Anybody know who he is? So, it was an epic fail, and of course my assistant editor wouldn't stop laughing, right? Because he remembers the whole thing and the broken lens, and it was In Sync that broke your camera. That's awesome. My learning, though, of missing an opportunity to be on a bus with In Sync for an entire year, you would think it would be that I missed out having Justin Timberlake as a friend today. But really what it was, I actually learned two things that day. One, I learned to never let your anger ever in business cloud your judgment when you're making an important decision. Like, don't make a life decision in a moment of, utter chaos. Because what kept me from the bus wasn't really that they sucked. It was that I was pissed that the guard pushed me on the floor, played with my dignity, embarrassed me, broke my camera, and I was so angry about that and my show and my content, I missed the opportunity of a lifetime. And who knew if they would become anybody, right? It wouldn't matter. I still would have had a year of experience on the road. I would have been producing. I would have probably done something bigger than I am today. The second thing that I learned that day, it was kind of important because I use it to this day, and it's a cliche, obviously. It's to never judge a book by its cover. I saw that group, and I saw a bunch of little kids with dyed blonde hair jumping around. They were singing some Disney song a cappella, and I just couldn't see Justin Timberlake today. So just when you get an opportunity in front of you and someone new that isn't the pro that you are, hasn't had business as long as you have, and they're new, that could be the next Topher. It could be the next Justin Timberlake. So don't ignore it, don't judge a book by its cover, and never make a business decision when you're pissed. That's it.
To learn more about our storytellers, go to storyjamtheater.com. Make sure to live a life worth telling, and we'll see you next week.
This has been a Story Jam Theater podcast. Production support provided by Anthony Kovic of Real Video Production and Stuart Mackey of Mackey Productions. All stories are true as affirmed by the storytellers. Special thanks to the Film Commission of Florida, The Hive, and the Tampa Bay area.